So hello folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Bullet, our 2006 Pontiac Grand Prix. We've decided to sell this car. I was going to keep it around as a project vehicle, but we just don't need 4 cars in the driveway. And I'm going to have my hands full with the Cutlass anyways. So we decided that this car is gonna go on to its next journey. We've owned the car 8 years, and this car really is like a part of our family, but I just don't want to see it sitting on the driveway and rotting away. And, you know, it's in good shape still for its age. It's got a lot of miles on it. Took my wife to work. She works 35 miles away from home, so the car'd see about 70-80 miles a day. Highway, mostly highway. She worked in Lansing area, but so let's take the cover off, and I'm going to include the cover in the sale if somebody wants it, and because it does go to this car, specifically made. It's a size 3 cover, and it's supposed to fit Grand Prix, so I don't know, but pull the cover off. So it's bright silver metallic 2006 Grand Prix. It's it's a base model, but it has GT1 options because it's a fleet car. It's built Canadian spec. It's a Canadian spec car. It has the Canadian gauges on it, and I think that's really the only difference. But rather than having the single exhaust, it has the duals, and it's got some of the leather wrapped stuff. But otherwise, it's just a base model. So I'm going to go over this car so people can see it, make this video. I'm going to direct people to this video when they're looking at my ad that I'm going to make. So we'll start off, I'll just start off with the body. So I have the little piece that goes on the bottom of the bumper. My wife got into a fender bender. She was backing out of a parking space, and a guy at work ran right into her with another car. And I was going to replace this bumper cover, but I didn't. I just painted over it. And, you know, that's like the most major damage. But I do have this piece, this black piece that goes under here. So I'll let that go with the car. The taillights are tinted. I tinted the taillights and the brake light. That, no, I tinted that as well. It's been tinted as well. But just like a smoke look. I didn't want it too dark. As you can see, it's got a major scratch here. I'm sure it's from somebody. Place where my wife works is kind of, yeah, they're kind of rough on people's cars. They're kind of banging into everything all the time. So the tires, I had these tires put on a year ago. They are 2 different brands, but they're in really good shape. These rims are a little bit, you know, Michigan corroded, but they're okay. The only issue we really had with the wheels is this tire here. Because of these wheels being corroded, this tire likes to go low. It sets the tire light off, and then, you know, we got a little scrapage here, but nothing too bad. Again, people are just rough in that parking lot. So this headlight I replaced when it got into this accident. This is the original headlight, so it probably needs to be replaced at some time too. Everything works on this car. It could use a cleaning. Needs a bath. Show you the interior. But it's got all your typical creature comforts: power locks, power windows, driver's side power seats. It's got AM, FM, CD, air and heat. The air conditioning does work. Everything works on here. Everything except the automatic, or the the remote car starter, the factory remote car starter, doesn't work right now, but that's because the check engine light's on. Once the check engine light gets turned off, it will work. Yeah, the car isn't actually in some pretty good shape. It hardly has any rust on it. For a 2006 in Michigan, that's amazing, but it's got one little spot here, and here on the fender, it's starting to rust a little bit right there. The underbody of this car is like perfect, almost. It doesn't leak any fluids. Try to show you the underbody of the car. As you can see, it's super clean under here. And this was a daily driven car. We drove this car 8 years. And in all kinds of weather. There's a little bit of rust there. But overall, the body's doing really good. Just had these wipers put on right before. Car's been sitting a month. Put those wipers on it right before it got parked. Did an oil change right before it got parked. Changed the oil on this car every 3,000 to 3,500 miles religiously, because that's just how I am. So let's see, find the, there we go. So it has your typical 3800 Series 3 engine. Replaced this rad hose last year, put a new thermostat in it last year. It does have a K&N drop-in filter. I also have a stock air filter, paper filter that can go with it. I've done 2 tune-ups on this car in the 8 years we had it, plugs and wires. That was 2 years ago now. At about 180,000 miles, I did the second one. I did the first one at 85,000 miles. I don't go the whole 100,000. Like I said, changed the oil right before it got parked. Should need plugs and wires again for at least, I'd say 50,000 more miles. Did the cooling elbows in this car. Of course, all these 3800s, those plastic cooling elbows always break, so we put the aluminum ones in, so that will never be an issue. Again, coolant's been flushed on it a couple times. Did 2 heater cores on this car in the time we've had it. As far as what's wrong with this car, it's got 2 main issues. The first main issue you're probably going to notice is these struts are starting to get weak, and so it needs front struts, but you can get those quick struts fairly inexpensively, and they're real easy to change. There's like 5 bolts, you're in, you're out. You just take, there's 2 bolts on the knuckle down here, and then you take out these 3 bolts here, and then boom, put the new one in, and you're done. So it's a fairly easy job. It's just once we decided we were going to sell the car, I wasn't going to replace that part. The check engine light is on for an emissions problem. There is a canister vent valve that sits right about here under the quarter panel, and it's dead. So it throws a check engine light. It does. The only thing it's affected is the remote start won't work with the check engine light is on, but key fob works. Here's the key fob. So trunk, the trunk opens. Like I said, it's dirty. I had 3 kids in this car for the last 8 years, so the interior is a little messed up, you know, got some stains, but tried to keep it as clean and maintained as I could. But there's the back seat. I will show you guys. Get in here, we'll start it up. Been sitting a month, let's see what happens. Like it never been setting. Say it runs really good. Like I said, it's got this Canadian spec, so it has this 220 dash instead of the 140 dash. But it does read in miles per hour, as you can see. It's got a little button over here that you can switch that around with. It's got, you know, it's a pretty good car. Been a really good car for us. As you can hear, it runs quiet. You know, as quiet as a factory dual exhaust will let it. Yeah, it's got Walker Quiet Flow SS mufflers on it so that it would run a little bit quieter. My wife likes her cars quiet. So, show you the engine. Runs good, it runs smooth, it drives good. Cars like a kit. Can't beat these 3800 engines. I'm really going to be sad to see this car go, but unfortunate that it is. I don't need 4 cars in the driveway, and I really want to get on this thing. This Cutlass is, yeah. But I digress. Let's talk about the Pontiac. Alright, so I don't want to make this video too much longer. So what I'm going to do is put our seatbelt on here, and we're going to take this car around the block. But hold on a second, I got to move some bicycles out of my way.